Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. And today we'll be discussing the NCERT exercise for the chapter Plant Kingdom. Before starting this lecture, I just want to give you one information that the images section are the materials used in the presentations of education purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@itk.ac.in and we shall remove the content immediately. Please note that parts of the content may have been generated using generative AI, which is experimental. So what are the objectives of today's session? So we will explore and understand the fundamental concepts of the chapter Plant Kingdom by working through the NCERT exercise questions. So these questions, they are based on some concepts. We will discuss these concepts by discussing the NCERT exercises. So we're going to discuss the NCERT exercise for the chapter Plant Kingdom. So here I have listed the type of the questions. Okay, so these questions can be divided into these categories. First of all, there are in total 12 questions from this chapter. And these questions have been divided into very short answer type questions, short answer type question, and then long answer type question. So here I have listed the question number here. So question number 7, 10, and 11, they are very short answer type. Then 4, 5, 6, and 8, they are short answer type. And 1, 2, 3, 9, and 12, they are long answer type questions. Okay, so you can see in the exercises, these are the category of the questions. So you should prepare accordingly. So let's begin with this question. What is the question now? What is the basis for classification of algae? So they are talking about the classification of algae. So algae has been classified into various groups. Or any organism, any living organism, they are classified into groups based on some similar characteristics. Here we are talking about the classification of algae. So what is the basis of the classification of algae? So let's have a look at the answer of this question. So you can get the answer of this question from the section 3.1 of the NCERT book. Okay, so what is the question? Now, following are the characteristics on which the classification of algae is based. So here I have listed the basis of the classification of algae in this table. So here you can see the characteristics that have been considered while classification of the algae. Okay, these characteristics has been considered for the classification of algae. What are these characteristics? The pigments which are present. So these pigments help in the photosynthesis also. And they give color also to the algae. Clear? Then the color of the algae, the food storage, the reserve food material you can say. Then the composition of the cell wall. The flagella, are they present or absent? And how many flagella are present? So these flagella, they help in the locomotion. Then the size range, whether they are microscopic, whether they are large, means whether they are microscopic or macroscopic. Then the organization, you can say the body organization, whether they are unicellular or they are multicellular, or you can say cellular organization. Cellular organization is a better word. Then examples. We'll talk about the examples also. And then the economic importance of these algae. So algae, they are of 3 types: green algae, brown algae, and the red algae. And these algae have been characterized or classified based on these characters that we have discussed. So let's talk about the pigments in the green algae first. So basically the primary pigment is chlorophyll A here. And then chlorophyll B also is present. Although chlorophyll B is not the primary pigment. So green algae consists of chlorophyll A and B. Brown algae consists of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. Red algae consists of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll D. So you can see chlorophyll A is common. to all the algae because chlorophyll A, this is a primary pigment. Then you can see the other pigments which are present. These are carotenoids and xanthophyll in green algae, fucoxanthin and the xanthophylls in brown algae. So they provide the characteristic brown to olive green color to brown algae. Then red algae consists of phycoerythrin and phycocyanin. So this gives characteristic red or blue purple color to red algae. Okay, so green algae, this is green in color. Brown algae, this is brown to olive green. And red algae, this is red to purple in color. And let's talk about the food storage. Green algae, what is the reserve food material? It is the starch. Okay, which is similar to plants. So in plants also, the reserve food material is starch. And plants, they are also green in color. In brown algae, the reserve food material is laminarin and mannitol. Then red algae, it is, what is the reserve food material? Floridian starch. Then cell wall, in green algae, this cell wall is made up of cellulose. In brown algae, the cell wall is made up of cellulose and algin. And algin can be isolated from the cell walls of the brown algae. So it has commercial importance as well. Then the red algae, let's talk about the cell wall of the red algae. Consists of cellulose and pectin. So again, cellulose is the major component in all of the algae. Flagella, the green algae consists of 2 to 4 equal flagella. In brown algae, there are 2 unequal flagella, means the size will be different. And the red algae, the flagella are absent. Let's talk about the size. Green algae, they are microscopic to few meters. Okay, brown algae, they are large. They are macroscopic. They can be up to 100 meters as well. And then red algae, they are small to medium in size. Let's talk about the organization, cellular organization. So green algae, they are unicellular, means single-celled, or they can be multicellular as well. Brown algae, they are mostly multicellular because they are large, they are microscopic. They can be up to 100 meters as well. Then red algae, they are mostly multicellular. Then examples of green algae, Spirogyra, Chlamydomonas, and Alva. Examples of brown algae, Fucus, Laminarin, and Sargassum. Examples of red algae, Porphyra, Gracilaria, and Gelidium. So you should remember the examples. The question can come from here. Let's talk about the economic importance here. We will briefly discuss about the economic importance. Green algae, they can be used as a food. So Spirogyra, this is rich in nutrients, this is rich in minerals, this is rich in proteins. So Spirogyra tablets are also available in the market. So these are used as a food, feed, and used as a biofuel also. Then from the brown algae, algin is isolated. Brown algae is also used as a food and as a fertilizer as well. From red algae, agar is obtained. And carrageenan and red algae is also used as a food. Now let's discuss this another question. When and where does reduction division takes place in the life cycle of liverwort, a moss, a fern, a gymnosperm, and an angiosperm? So what do you mean by reduction division now? So reduction division means meiosis. In meiosis, what happens? There is a reduction in the number of chromosomes. The chromosome number are reduced to half. Usually, this reduction division takes place in the diploid cells. Clear? So let's have a look at the answer for this question. Okay, let's have a look at the answer now. The reduction division takes place in the following stages. First one, let's talk about the liverwort. Now, meiosis, which is known as the reduction division, takes place in the spore mother cells, which are diploid. The spore mother cells, they are diploid, and Okay, this meiosis occurs in diploid cells only. So spore mother cells, they are present in the capsule. Here, capsule is the part of the liverwort. In the capsule, spores are formed. So meiosis takes place in the spore mother cells of the capsule in the sporangium, resulting in haploid spore formation. So through meiosis, haploid spores are formed. Clear? Haploid means they have n number of chromosomes. N number of chromosome means they have only one set of chromosomes. Spores, they are haploid. Let's talk about the moss. Now, meiosis occur in spore mother cells of the spore sacs in the capsule of the sporangium again. So moss, they also consist of a capsule, and meiosis occur again in the spore mother cells. Okay, of the spore sacs in the capsule of the sporangium. Let's talk about the fern. Ferns, they are kind of pteridophytes. So sporangia are endowed on sporophylls. What are sporophylls? They are also known as the fertile leaves. So these sporophylls, they bear the sporangia. Now the process of meiosis occurs in the spore mother cells of the sporangium. So meiosis is occurring in the spore mother cells of the sporangium. Okay. Now gymnosperms. So this meiosis occurs inside the male cones. Okay. Microsporocytes, also known as microspore mother cells. These undergo meiosis to produce microspores. So here what happens, the meiosis occur in the microsporocytes, which are also known as microspore mother cells. And by meiosis, they form the microspores. Now within the ovules of the female cones, these megasporocytes, also known as megaspore mother cells, undergo meiosis to produce the megaspores. So here in gymnosperm, microspores are also formed and megaspores are also formed. Microspore are formed from microspore mother cells, megaspore are formed from the megaspore mother cells. Microsporocyte, they are present in the male cones. Megasporocyte, they are present in the female cones. Now let's talk about the angiosperm. So angiosperm, they are also known as the flowering plants. They bear flowers. Now pollen grains are produced here. Now, pollen grains are formed by meiosis in the microspore mother cells. And pollen grains are also known as the male gametophyte. So remember this, in angiosperms, the pollen grains are known as the male gametophyte. Pollen grains are formed by meiosis in the microspore mother cells. Now, megaspore mother cells, which are located in the nucellus of the ovule, nucleus of the ovule, undergoes meiosis for the formation of haploid megaspore. So here, microspore are also formed in angiosperm. These microspores are known as pollen grains. And pollen grains are known as the male gametophyte. And meiosis occurs in the megaspore also, mother cell, to form the megaspore. And from the megaspore, embryo sac develops. Okay. Clear? So in megaspore, what happens then? In megaspore, there is mitosis division, and there is one functional microspore, megaspore, and from this one functional megaspore, 8 celled embryo sac develops. The next question, name 3 groups of plants that bear archegonia. What is archegonia? Archegonia is the female sex organ. In mosses and liverworts, basically in non-flowering plants, these archegonia are present. They are the female sex organ, which bears the egg, female gamete. You have to briefly describe the life cycle of any one of them. So you can get the answer of this question from the NCERT section 3.2, but we'll discuss the answer here. Now let's have a look at the answer now. So bryophyte, pteridophyte, and gymnosperms are the plants that bear archegonia. So These are all non-flowering plants. So archegonia is present in the non-flowering plants. Angiosperm, it doesn't consist of archegonia because they are flowering plants. Archegonia, which is a female sex organ, present in bryophyte, iridophyte, and gymnosperms. Then what is the life cycle of bryophytes? Let's talk about the life cycle of bryophytes, because in the question they are asking, briefly describe the life cycle of any one of them. So we have chosen to discuss the life cycle of bryophytes, and we'll be discussing it briefly because in the question they are asking briefly. Now bryophyte, their body, main body is haploid and produce gametes. Haploid means they have n number of chromosomes, they have only one set of chromosome. Okay, haploid means gametophyte. Gametophytic phase is haploid, and gametophytic phase produces gametes, which are again haploid. Now the male sex organ in bryophyte, this is known as antheridium, and this antheridium produces biflagellate antherozoids. So they are motile because they are flagellated. And how many flagella are present? 2 flagella are present. The female sex organs, they are known as archegonium. Here, and within the archegonium, the egg is produced. Single egg is produced, or the female gamete is produced. The male gamete is produced in antheridium, female gamete is produced within the archegonium. Clear? Now, antheridium releases antherozoids into the water, and antherozoids are motile, and they come in contact with the archegonium. Now, the antherozoid fuses with the egg to produce the zygote. So, what is happening here? Fertilization is happening in the water. So, bryophyte, they are known as the amphibians of the plant world. Why they are known as amphibians of the plant world? Because they require water for completing their life cycle. They require water for fertilization. To remember this, bryophyte, they are known as the amphibians of the plant world because they cannot complete their life cycle without water. Okay, so now fertilization is happening. Antherozoid is fusing with the female gamete, which is the egg, and zygote is produced. So zygote will be diploid. It is a unicellular diploid structure. Now, okay, so zygote is formed. Here you can see this is the life cycle of the moss. We'll discuss this image also. Now the zygote, it will undergo mitosis division. Mitosis is known as the equational division. And by mitosis division, it produces a multicellular body called a sporophyte. So sporophyte will be diploid. It has 2n number of chromosomes, means 2 sets of chromosomes. Again, the sporophyte will now undergo reduction division, means meiosis, to produce haploid spores. So sporophyte will produce spores. Gametophyte will produce gametes. Okay, now in the end, what is happening? Haploid spores are being produced now. Now this spore germinate to produce the gametophyte. So again, the gametophyte is produced, which is haploid. Gametophyte will bear the sex organs, male and the female sex organ. This sex organ will produce the gametes. This gamete will fuse together to form the zygote. Zygote will form the sporophyte. Sporophyte undergoes meiosis division to form the haploid spores, and spore again will produce the gametophyte, which is haploid. So this is a simple life cycle of the moss, which is a bryophyte. Here you can see, starting with the gametophyte, which is haploid. So it consists of the male. This symbol represents the male with arrow 1. This arrow represents the male. This one is the female. So male sex organ will produce the male gametes. It will produce the antherozoids. Then archegonia will produce the female egg. Antherozoids, they are released in the water. They come in contact with the archegonia, which consists of the egg. Fertilization will occur. after fertilization. So here you can see fertilization. Clear? So this was the haploid phase. This gametophyte is also haploid. Gametes are also haploid. Okay, gametophyte is forming the gametes. So this is all haploid phase. And after fertilization, diploid phase will start. Zygote is formed. Zygote will form the sporophyte. Sporophyte will bear the sporangium. Okay. Then within the sporangium, spores will develop. Spores will develop through meiosis. Then after meiosis, the haploid phase starts. So these after meiosis, haploid spores are formed. This spore will first form protonema, and this protonema will form the entire gametophyte. This is a very simple life cycle of the bryophyte. Clear? Now let's discuss this question. Mention the ploidy of the following. Now, what do you mean by ploidy? So ploidy means number of set of the chromosome. Okay. Like what they are asking, ploidy. What would be the ploidy of haploid? Haploid cells, ploidy will be, they have only one set of chromosome. Diploid cell, they have two set of chromosome. Triploid cell, they have three set of chromosome. Then they are polyploid also. Clear? So ploidy means number of set of chromosome. One set of chromosome, two set of chromosome, or three set of chromosome. Okay, it is not the number of chromosome, it is the number of set of chromosomes. Okay. So they are asking you to mention the ploidy of protonemal cells of the moss, primary endosperm, nucleus in the dicot, leaf cell of a moss, prothallus cell of a fern, gamma cell in Markentia, meristem cell of monocot, and ovum of a liverwort, and zygote of the fern. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer for this question. So here you can see the cell type ploidy and the reason why it is haploid or diploid. Okay, means the reason for the ploidy is given here. So protonemal cell of the moss, they are haploid because they are developed from the spores. Spores are haploid. And protonema, this is a gametophyte. This is gametophytic generation. Gametophytic generation is haploid. Then primary endosperm nucleus, this is triploid. Okay, because this is formed from the fusion of the two polar nuclei with one of the haploid male gamete. So there are two male gametes which are released by the pollen tube. One of the male gamete fuses with the egg, another male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei, leading to the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, so this will be triploid. Okay, this is the part of double fertilization. Actually, double fertilization means fertilization is happening twice. One of the male gamete is fusing with the egg cell, another male gamete is fusing with the two polar nuclei. Now, next one, leaf cell of a moss. This is haploid because again it is a part of the gametophytic phase and developed from the spores. Prothallus cell of the fern, this is also haploid because it develops from the spores and represents the gametophytic phase. Then gamma cell in the Markentia. These are also haploid. And gamma, they are asexual reproductive structures formed by the gametophyte. Then meristem cell of monocot, this is diploid because it is the part of sporophytic phase and it is produced after the fertilization. Here, so monocot and dicot, these are all angiosperms. In angiosperms, the you can say main body is sporophytic. It is the dominant phase. Then ovum of a liverwort. This is obviously haploid because it is the female gamete produced by the gametophyte. Gametophyte is also haploid. Then zygote of the fern. Zygote is obviously, this is diploid structure. It has 2n number of chromosome. And zygote is formed by the fusion of the haploid egg and the sperm. Means the zygote is formed after the fertilization. Let's discuss this question. Write a note on the economic importance of algae as well as gymnosperms. Okay, you can get the answer from the NCERT section 3.4. Okay, but we'll discuss the answer here. Let's have a look at the answer. Let's first discuss the importance of the gymnosperm. The gymnosperm, they use in ornamental plants such as bonsai. So bonsai is an ornamental plant. It is kept on your tables, on your desk. Okay, so it is an ornamental plant. And their fibers are used in preparation of paper pulp as well. Now, turpentine and resins are obtained from the conifers resin. This is the economic importance, very important. Turpentine and resins are obtained from conifers. Now, useful oils are extracted from gymnosperms, like junipers, pines, hemlock, fir, spruces, and arbor vitae. Oils are extracted from these gymnosperms. Gymnosperm seeds are used as food products, such as in the bakery items as well. So the gymnosperm, they produce naked seeds. Okay, because the ovule is not enclosed by the ovary. Occasionally, they are used to create silk and other textile as well. Okay, they can be used as a fodder as well. Now let's talk about the importance of algae. So algae is very important. It has a lot of economic importance. First of all, the major importance is algae fixes carbon dioxide with the help of photosynthesis. So this algae, they consist of the photosynthetic pigments such as chlorophyll A. Okay, and they consist of the accessory pigments also. So with the help of these pigments, it can photosynthesize. It is photoautotrophic. It can fix the carbon dioxide into sugars. So it fixes, the algae can fix the atmospheric carbon dioxide with the help of photosynthesis. And in the process, it produces oxygen also, which cleans our air. It increases the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment. So what is a byproduct of photosynthesis? So one of the byproduct is oxygen. So oxygen is basically a byproduct. It is not the major product. So oxygen is being produced by the algae. So it is cleaning the environment. Marine algae is used as a food also. For example, laminaria and sargassum. Even spirogyra. Spirogyra is also very healthy, because spirogyra tablets are also available now. Certain algae are used as a hydrocolloids. So these hydrocolloids, they have water holding capacity also. Agar is used. Okay, agar is isolated also from these algae, and these agar plates are made. So agar, if you use agar in the medium, so it makes the medium semi-solid, and on the semi-solid medium, microorganisms can be cultured. And this agar is also used in the preparation of jellies as well. Now, chlorella is also used as a food by the space travelers. So chlorella biscuits are also available, and chlorella is also rich in, okay, it is a high source of protein as well. Clear? Then carrageenan is also obtained. Algin is also obtained. Clear? Algin has also a lot of benefits also. Algin tablets are also available. It reduces the inflammation and pain as well. Clear? These are all obtained from the algae. Another product, carrageen. Carrageen is also obtained. Now let's discuss this question. Both gymnosperm and angiosperm bear seeds. Both are seed-bearing plants. Then why are they classified separately? Okay. So this question is from the section 3.4 and 3.5. You can read these sections. Okay. You can get all the information related to this question from these sections. So let's have a look at the answer here. Now, the reasons for distinguishing angiosperm and gymnosperm are as follows. First of all, in gymnosperms, the ovules, they are naked, but in angiosperm, they are enclosed within the ovary. So, gymnosperm, they produce naked seeds because ovules are not enclosed by the ovary. But here you can see in angiosperms, the seeds are enclosed within the fruit. The ovules are enclosed within the ovary. So ovules, they form the seeds, and ovary, they form the fruit. So one difference, this is the major difference. Then in gymnosperm, endospore is haploid and produced before the fertilization. Whereas in angiosperm, endosperm is triploid and is formed after the double fertilization. So this is also one of the difference in the endosperm. In the gymnosperm, this is haploid because it is being produced before the fertilization. But in angiosperm, the endosperm is triploid. It is formed by triple fusion. Okay, in double fertilization, what happens? There are two fertilization. One of the fertilization known as syngamy, other one is known as the triple fusion. So in angiosperms, the endosperm is triploid because it is being formed by the triple fusion, which is the part of double fertilization. Now, double fertilization does not occur in gymnosperms, it occurs in the angiosperm only. Here in angiosperm, this is a characteristic feature of angiosperm. Angiosperm bears flowers. Okay, and double fertilization occurs only in the angiosperms. In gymnosperms, wood is non-porous, and angiosperm wood is porous. This is also one of the difference. Then again, gymnosperms, they have archegonia. They are non-flowering plants. So in non-flowering plants, archegonia is present. Archegonia is not present in the angiosperms. So these are the major differences between the angiosperms and the gymnosperm. Clear? In angiosperms, the female reproductive organ is known as gynoecium. In gymnosperm, it is known as archegonia. Clear? So angiosperms have androecium and gynoecium. Let's discuss this question. What is heterospory? And briefly comment on its significance. What is the significance of heterospory? And give two examples. So let's discuss this question now. Let's have a look at the answer. Now let's first understand what is heterospory. A phenomenon of producing two different types of spores in the same plant. This is known as heterospory. So hetero means different. Spory means production of spores. So two different kind of spores or two different type of spores are being produced by the same plant. This is known as heterospory. This is different from homospory. Homospory is production of same kind of spore. Only one kind of spore, you can say. Heterospory is production of two kind of spores. What is the importance of heterospory? Okay, the first one, heterospory causes the growth of seeds in gymnosperm and the angiosperms. The production of two kind of spores help in the survival of the gymnosperm and angiosperm as well. It causes the growth of the seeds in gymnosperm and angiosperm. It allows for the differentiation of male and the female gametophyte. Okay, so microspores and megaspores are produced. So this allows the differentiation of male and the female gametophyte. Microspore will form the male gametophyte, megaspore will form the female gametophyte. Now, increases the genetic diversity. So you can see the genetic diversity is also increased by producing two kind of spores because these spores are produced by meiosis. In meiosis, what happens? Recombination and crossing over occurs. So, in meiosis leads to variation, means it increases the genetic diversity. Now, better adaptation to various environments. So as there is increased genetic diversity, this helps in better adaptation to various environments as well. Examples are Salvinia and Selaginella. So here you can see in this figure, they have shown you Selaginella, which is heterosporous. It is producing two kinds of spores here. Microspores are produced in microsporangium, megaspores are produced in the megasporangium. And Lycopodium, this is homosporous. It is producing only one kind of spores. Here, the spores are produced in the sporangium. Clear? And leaf, it bears the microsporophyll. Clear? Let's discuss this question. Explain briefly the following terms with suitable examples. We have to explain this term briefly. What are the terms protonema, antheridium, archegonium, diplontic, sporophyll, and isogamy? Let's have a look at the answer now. So protonema, let's discuss protonema. Protonema is a haploid stage in the bryophyte life cycle. It is haploid, means it is a gametophytic phase. And in the protonema, thread-like chains of cells are formed. Okay, it is thread-like. Protonema is thread-like. Example, in mosses, protonema develops directly from the haploid spores. Let's talk about antheridium now. It is a male sex organ in bryophytes and pteridophytes. Now, example is many fungi and algae have antheridia during their reproductive phases. So, antheridia will produce the antherozoids. Archegonium, this is the female reproductive organ of the bryophyte, which is flask-shaped and produces a single egg. It produces only single female gamete. Okay, this is also observed in pteridophytes, gymnosperms, as well as bryophytes, which are non-flowering plants. So they are jacketed, means they are covered by the layers. They are surrounded by the layers, and they are multicellular. And they possess a neck and a solar venter, means they are flask-shaped. Let's talk about the diplontic life cycle. Now, life cycle in which dominant free living phase is diploid. Okay, dominant phase is diploid here. And this sporophyte, this is free living. This is not dependent. Haploid stage is represented by gametes only. Gametes are haploid because they are produced by meiosis. Usually. Example is sargassum. Now, what is sporophyll? A leaf bearing sporangia is called a sporophyll. And within the sporangia, spores are produced. Now, these sporophyll, they can be of two types, microsporophyll and megasporophyll. Now, these structures combine to form the strobili, also known as cones. Okay, these sporophylls, they combine to form cones. Example is pinus. In pinus, cones are present. Now, what is isogamy? So, what happens in isogamy? In sexual reproduction, that takes place through fusion of two gametes which are similar in size and structure. Clear? So, isogamy, first of all, it occurs during the sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, male and female gametes are formed, and both of these male and the female gamete, they are similar in size as well as shape and the structure. Example is ectocarpus. Let's discuss this question. Differentiate between the following: red algae, brown algae, liverworts, and moss, homosporous and heterosporous pteridophyte, syngamy, and the triple fusion. Let's have a look at the answer now. Red algae and brown algae. So here the differences. Red algae, obviously, they appear red in color and they have pigments phycobiliproteins, especially phycoerythrin. Brown algae, they have fucoxanthin pigment. They appear brown. Red algae cell wall is composed of cellulose with a coating of agar or carrageenan. And brown algae, they consist of cellulose and alginic acid, or algine, you can say. Pigments present in algae: chlorophyll A, phycobilins, which consist of phycoerythrin and phycocyanin. Brown algae consists of chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and fucoxanthin. Storage product in red algae is fluoridine starch, which is similar to glycogen. Question can come from here. Fluoridine starch is similar to glycogen. Brown algae consists of laminarin and mannitol. Then habitat, red algae live in marine environments, especially in the deeper or cooler water. Brown algae live predominantly, they are marine, especially in temperate and cold seas. Examples of red algae are Carolina, Gelidium, and Polysiphone. Example of brown algae are kelp, which are just Laminaria, Fucus, and Sargassum. Liverwort and mosses. So this structure of the liverworts are they have a thalloid body or leafy body. Mosses, they are small, they have leafy stems, leaves, and leaves are typically 1 cell thick. Reproduction in liverworts, okay, through Antheridia and Archegonia, these are the male and the female sex organs. They are produced on the surface of the thalli. So in liverworts, the body is like a thallus. Now in moss, the gametangia are typically born at the tips of the stem or the branches. In liverwort, the spores, they are released through the disintegration of the sporangium. In mosses, the spores are released through an operculum, which is present at the tip of the sporophyte. Operculum is a lid-like structure. Then in liverworts, rhizoids, they are smooth. In mosses, they are often branched and can be smooth. Now, habitat of liverworts, where do they live? They are present, you can say, can be found in moist and shaded environments. Here means they are terrestrial. Mosses, they can be found in wide range of environments, including very wet to semi-arid places. Example of river Marcantian peli and mosses. Example is sphagnum, which is also known as peat moss, and polytrichum. Let's talk about homosporous and heterosporous. So homosporous produce one kind of spore, heterosporous produce two kind of spores, that are microspores and megaspores. Let's talk about the gametophyte. Homosporous, they are bisexual, means they're monoecious. Monoecious means the male and the female sex organ are present in the same plant. They produce both male and the female gametangia on the same gametophyte. They produce male and the female sex organ on the same gametophyte. Then in case of heterosporous, microspore develop into male gametophyte, and megaspores, they develop into the female gametophytes. So here there is a differentiation of the gametophyte. Now homosporous examples, most ferns like pteridium, also known as the bracken fern. Heterosporous example is Selaginella, which is known as Spikos, Salvinia, which is a water fern. Homosporous evolutionary aspect considered to be more primitive. And heterosporous, they are considered to be more advanced and lead to seed development habit as well. Then adaptation, homosporous, they are less adapted to dry conditions. Heterosporous, they are better adapted to dry conditions due to the separation of the gametophyte, due to differentiation of the gametophytes. Now let's talk about the syngamy and triple fusion. So they are the part of the double fertilization. Syngamy, what happens? There is the fusion of the two gametes, sperm and egg, to form the zygote. So what is the product of syngamy? It is the zygote. Syn means fusion, and gamy means gametes, fusion of gametes. Triple fusion is when one of the male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei and result in the formation of the triploid endosperm. In syngamy, what is the result? Zygote is formed. In triple fusion, a triploid endosperm is formed. Syngamy occurs in all sexually reproducing organisms, including plants and animals. Triple fusion only occurs in angiosperms. So double fertilization only occurs in the angiosperms, which are known as the flowering plants. What is the significant development of a new individual? So zygote will form the embryo, and from embryo new individual will develop. Triple fusion, it provides nutrition. By triple fusion, what is formed? Endosperm is formed. Endosperm is a nutritive tissue. It provides nutrition to the developing embryo. In syngamy, this is a fundamental process of sexual reproduction. Means it is the basic of the sexual reproduction. Fertilization, syngamy, fusion of the two gametes. Triple fusion, it is the part of double fertilization process which is unique only to the angiosperms. Let's discuss this question. How would you distinguish monocots from the dicots? So both are angiosperms. Let's have a look at the answer now. So monocots and dicots. Monocot, they have single cotyledon known as scutellum. Dicots, they have seeds with two cotyledons. In monocots, flowers are trimerous, means they are, you can say, in multiple of three. Dicots, their flowers are tetramerous or pentamerous. Then monocots venation is parallel. In the leaf, you will see parallel venation. In dicots, you will see reticulate venation in the leaves. In monocot, vascular bundles are scattered. In dicot, vascular bundles are organized in a ring. In monocot, there is absence of the vascular cambium. So there is no secondary growth in the monocots. Remember, this is very important. There is no secondary growth in monocot because the vascular cambium is absent. In dicots, presence of vascular cambium. Okay. In dicot, there is no secondary growth. There is no, you can say, cambium. Then in monocots, primary root is replaced by adventitious roots. Here, in monocots, adventitious roots are present. And they are short-lived. Adventitious roots are roots which develop from a part other than the radicle. Then in dicots, the primary root is known as the trap root, and this is long-lived. Now, this is the match the following question. Column 1 and column 2 is given to you. You have to match column 1 with column 2. In column 1, the name of the organism is given to you. In column 2, the category to which it belongs is given to you. You have to match the column 1 with column 2. So let's have a look at the answer now. So Chlamydomonas, this is an algae. Okay, green algae. Cycles, this is a gymnosperm. Selaginella, this is a pteridophyte. And sphagnum, this is the moss. Okay, so this was quite straightforward question here. Chlamydomonas is a type of chlorophytes, single-celled algae. Cycles is a type of gymnosperm. Selaginella is a type of pteridophyte. Sphagnum is a moss, which is the bryophyte, commonly known as the peat moss, which is used as a fuel. Describe the important characteristic of gymnosperms. Okay, you can find the answer of this question from the NCERT section 3.4. Okay, let's discuss the answer of this question. The main characteristic of gymnosperms are as follows. In gymnosperm, the ovules are not enclosed by the ovaries. Means here, naked seeds are produced. Ovules, they develop into seeds, and ovary, they develop into fruits. In gymnosperms, ovules are not enclosed by the ovary. That's why naked seeds are produced here. Now they are exposed before and after the fertilization. Okay, the seeds are naked, so they are exposed. Seeds are naked. The reason is, again, ovules are not enclosed by the ovaries. Now, gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or tall trees as well. And some of the gymnosperm are shrubs as well. Okay. Sequoia is one of the tallest species. The roots are tap roots here. Okay, so they have the primary roots, which are tap roots. So this tap root system, they consist of the primary roots and the secondary roots, the tertiary roots. This is different from the adventitious roots which are present in the monocots, which are angiosperms actually. So you can see here, this is the ovule in the gymnosperms. Okay, here they have shown you the gymnosperm. Ovules are attached here, you can see. Clear seeds are naked here, they are exposed. They have pinnately compound leaves. Leaves have lobed margins. This is the ovule of the gymnosperm. Clear, they consist of an endosperm which is haploid because it is formed before the fertilization. Role of endosperm is provide nutrition to the embryo. This is the nucellar cells, archegonium, which is the female sex organ. You can see the pollen chamber here. And these are the integuments. outer integument, middle integument, and the inner integument. These integuments, they develop into the seed coat. Okay, you can talk about the sporophyte also. Sporophyte is dominant here. Okay. Now, next one, stems are branched or unbranched. Okay, leaves are simple and compound. Plant body is separated into root, stem, and leaves, and the main body is sporophyte. Okay. They produce two kinds of spores, means they are heterosporous. Fertilization takes place in absence of the external water. Clear? Fertilization occurs through siphonogamy. Clear? You can see here, this is the fertilization process in the gymnosperms. Clear? Fertilization means fusion of the male and the female gametes. Here you can see these are the microsporocytes. Clear? So this is basically showing you the entire life cycle here. You can see the microsporangia here. Microsporocytes are present here. Okay. So this is the life cycle of the gymnosperm. Here meiosis is occurring. After meiosis, what will happen? The gamete of the haploid stage will start. Here, this megaspore is produced, which is haploid here. You can see by meiosis. Meiosis occurring in the megasporangia. Meiosis occurring in the microsporangia also, by which the pollen grains are formed, which is haploid. Here, and pollen grain will fuse with the egg to form the zygote. Zygote will form the embryo. Here. So we have discussed the NCERT exercises here for the chapter Plant Kingdom. So I hope this lecture was quite knowledgeable for you. All right. I hope your concepts got cleared. Okay, so we will end this session now. We'll meet you in the next session. Thank you very much for listening.